It's been nearly 2 months since Bungie released what they call Destiny 2's final major update, Monuments of Triumph. An update that wasn't just another expansion or season, it was the beginning of Destiny's future without the annual expansion model we've known for years. At launch, people were excited. There was plenty to do. Old players returned, and for a moment, it felt like Destiny had found its spark again. But now that the honeymoon period is over, where does Destiny actually stand? Was Monuments of Triumph a success? Is the game really dying like so many people claim? Or is the truth somewhere in the middle? I think it's only fair to start with what Bungie actually got right. Monuments of Triumph wasn't just another content drop, it fundamentally changed how Destiny is going to operate. Instead of chasing one massive expansion every year, we're now getting a more flexible structure with new events, activities, and updates arriving more regularly. Whether you prefer that model or not, it's undeniably different. The update introduced a surprising amount of content. There were new activities to grind, plenty of new weapons worth chasing, fresh armor sets, quality of life improvements, progression changes, and reasons to log in that didn't feel like ticking boxes for another seasonal challenge. For veteran players, there was finally that feeling of having something meaningful to work towards again. The monument system itself also serves as a celebration of everything Destiny has become over the last decade. Rather than simply ending the story and walking away, Bungie built something that lets players revisit some of the biggest accomplishments throughout Destiny's history. It almost feels like a museum dedicated to the franchise. For many players, that's exactly what this update needed to be. Not necessarily the biggest expansion ever, but a respectful conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga while opening the door for whatever comes next. Unfortunately, this is where reality starts catching up. If you've been anywhere near social media over the past few weeks, you've probably seen one statistic repeated everywhere. Destiny 2's Steam player count has dropped by over 50% since Monuments of Triumph has launched. And on paper that sounds terrifying. People immediately see the number and assume the game is collapsing. But I honestly think that's missing a lot of context. This happens with almost major live service game. Huge update releases, everyone comes back, people finish the content, some stay, many leave until the next update. It's a cycle we've seen for years, not just with Destiny, but with games like Diablo, Path of Exile, Warframe, and countless others. So yes, losing over half of the launch population sounds crazy, but expecting Destiny to maintain launch week numbers permanently was never realistic in the first place. The bigger question isn't whether numbers dropped, it's whether Bungie can keep enough players interested during this final update. That's the challenge, because Destiny is entering a completely new territory. There's no annual expansion waiting around the corner anymore. The old formula is gone. Now Bungie has to prove that this new model can actually keep players engaged over months rather than just weeks. Another thing that really caught people's attention recently was the news surrounding one of the big Destiny creators, Datto. For over a decade, Datto has been one of the most recognizable faces in the Destiny community. Raid guides, weapon reviews, build videos, day one races. He's been there for almost every major moment Destiny has ever had. Recently, he announced that beginning in August, he's stepping away from making Destiny content as his main focus. And honestly, that hits a lot of people harder than the Steam charts, because creators like Datto almost become part of Destiny itself. When someone who's been around for that long decides it's time for something new, it's easy to feel like an era is ending. But at the same time, can you really blame him? He's been covering essentially the same franchise for over 10 years. Very few creators stay with one game for that long. Burnout is natural. People change. Games evolve. Creators evolve too. And while it definitely marks the end of a chapter, it doesn't automatically mean Destiny itself is over. So is Destiny dying? That's the question everyone loves asking. Personally, I don't think it's as simple as saying yes or no. Destiny isn't the unstoppable giant it once was. There's no denying that. The player numbers aren't what they used to be. The excitement isn't quite the same as during Forsaken, the Witch Queen, or even the Final Shape. But Destiny also isn't disappearing tomorrow. There are still thousands of people logging in every single day. There are still raids to teach, exotics to collect, dungeons to run, friends to play with. And the best part of it all is you can play at your own pace. Maybe the game won't dominate Twitch anymore. maybe it won't break Steam records again, but that doesn't mean it can't still be a genuinely enjoyable game. It's honestly kind of emotional thinking about where we've come from waking up in the Cosmodrome back in D1, defeating Oryx, stopping Siva, fighting Gaul, discovering the Dreaming City, facing Savathun, finally confronting the Witness. It's been over a decade of memories. Millions of Guardians have shared those moments together. Late night raids, Trials wins, painful wipes, exotic drops. Moments that probably sound ridiculous to anyone who's ever played Destiny. Whether you've been here since D1, joined during D2, or only recently started playing, you've been part of something genuinely special. And while this may be the end of D2's biggest chapter, it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. You don't have to force yourself to play every day. You don't need to grind every weapon. You don't need to treat Destiny like a second job anymore. You can simply come back when you want. Play at your own pace. Enjoy the memories you've made. Make a few more if you feel like it. Because no matter what happens next, no one can take away everything Destiny has already given us. And honestly, that's a pretty great legacy to leave behind.